Right then, let's unpack this. You've asked us to deep dive into a truly extraordinary destination, a place that's, well, captured imaginations for centuries. We're guiding you through Mustang in Nepal, often called the last forbidden kingdom. Think remote, mystical, a high desert landscape tucked away in the Himalayas. Today, we're not just giving you the facts. We want to take you on a bit of a journey, really uncover what it feels like to explore this ancient world, from the challenges of getting there to the incredible cultural rewards.
Yeah, and what's really fascinating, I think, is how this place, which feels so remote, so ancient, is actually becoming a bit more accessible. But crucially, it's still holding on to that profound historical cultural charm. So this deep dive, it's about giving you the practical stuff, how to navigate it, entry logistics, but also how to really experience its unique heritage.
Okay, so for somewhere that sounds so wonderfully isolated, what's the first step? How do you even begin to get to Mustang?
Well, the main way in, typically, is flying. You fly from Pokhara to Jomsom. It's a pretty short flight, maybe 20 minutes, incredibly scenic. You're flying right alongside these massive peaks. But, and this is important, it's very weather dependent. Strong winds tend to pick up later in the day, so those flights almost always go first thing in the morning.
Ah, okay, so an early start is key then.
Definitely. And from Jomsom, well, trekking is still the classic way, of course, but these days, Jeeps can actually get quite deep into Mustang. That's opened it up quite a bit, making it more accessible than just, relying solely on fur power.
Right. Now, once you've sorted how to physically get there, the next hurdle is actually getting in. This is where the permits come in, isn't it? And it's not just a simple passport stamp.
Absolutely not. This is probably one of the most crucial bits to understand. You've really got to differentiate between lower Mustang and upper Mustang. For lower Mustang, places like, say, Mukhtanath, you need two things: an Annapurna Conservation Area Project permit, that's the ACAP, and a TIMS card, the Trekker's Information Management System. Those are relatively straightforward, fairly standard for trekking in the Annapurna region.
Okay, that sounds manageable. But Upper Mustang?
Ah, yes. Upper Mustang is a whole different story. It's officially a restricted area. This means you need a special restricted area permit. And be prepared, it's significantly more expensive. We're talking several £100s or equivalent per person, often for just 10 days. And critically, you typically need a minimum of 2 people traveling together, and it must be arranged through a registered Nepali trekking agency. You can't just rock up and get one yourself.
Wow, okay. So why such strict rules? Why the high cost?
It really boils down to preservation. It's about protecting a unique, incredibly fragile culture and environment that hasn't seen the same level of, well, outside influence as other places. The permits help manage visitor numbers, you see, and the funds often go directly back into supporting preservation efforts and giving the local community more control over how their heritage is shared. It's a deliberate strategy.
That makes sense. So bearing all that in mind, when's the best time to go? To experience the magic, but avoid the worst of the weather or crowds?
Good question. Generally, spring is fantastic. That's March through to May. You usually get beautifully clear skies, maybe see some rhododendrons blooming down in lower Mustang, and the temperatures are pretty pleasant before the monsoon hits. Then your other main window is autumn, September to November. Post-monsoon clarity, crisp air, lovely conditions for trekking or traveling. Plus, autumn is often when some major cultural festivals happen.
What about the other times? Monsoon and winter?
Well, the monsoon, June to August, is interesting. Mustang is in a rain shadow, so it actually gets much less rain than the rest of Nepal. It is possible to travel then, but maybe not quite as reliable. Winter, though, December to February, is properly cold. Heavy snow is common, especially higher up. Passes can be blocked, and many local people actually move down to warmer areas. So, yeah, travel's pretty limited then.
Right, stick to spring or autumn ideally.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move beyond the logistics. What truly makes Mustang special? What's the real heart of it, the thing that makes you say, yes, you have to go?
Oh, for me, without a doubt, it's the living culture. It's steeped in Tibetan Buddhism. You see it everywhere. Ancient monasteries clinging to cliffs, prayer flags absolutely covering everything, the many walls along the trails. It's not just history, it's woven into daily life. And then you have places like Lomanthang, the ancient walled capital. Walking into those narrow, dusty alleys, seeing the king's palace, it honestly feels like stepping back centuries.
It sounds incredible.
It really is. And the landscape itself contributes those eroded cliffs, the high desert, and you've got the sky caves too, like the Choser Caves. People lived in those caves for generations, centuries even. You can see layers of history right there in the rock. And if you can time your visit for a festival, like the TG Festival, it's usually in May, a big 3-day ritual for purification and chasing away evil spirits, well, That's just unforgettable. It's a completely different level of immersion.
That TG festival sounds intense.
It is. It connects you to this centuries-old way of life that feels, largely untouched. It might sound like a faff with the permits and the cost, but honestly, that first glimpse of Manthang across the plain, after all the effort getting there, it makes every bit of paperwork feel worthwhile. It's a proper wow moment.
Yeah, I can imagine. So for someone listening now thinking, right, I'm keen, what sort of time frame should they be thinking about? How long does a typical trip take?
It really depends on what you want to see. You could do a shorter trip, maybe focus on Lower Mustang, perhaps around Mukhtanath and Kagbani, in about, say, 7 days or so. But if you want to explore Upper Mustang properly, get to Manthang, soak it all in, and allow for acclimatization, which is really important. At those altitudes, you'd need longer, probably looking at a 10 to 14-day trip, maybe even a bit more.
And that could be trekking or by jeep.
Exactly. Both are viable options now. Trekking obviously gives you that slower pace, more connection to the landscape. Jeep tours cover more ground faster, less physically demanding, but maybe a different kind of experience. Depends what you're after.
Okay, brilliant. So wrapping this up, what does this all mean for you, the listener? Mustang clearly isn't just another trek, is it? It's a proper journey, an immersion into this incredibly preserved ancient culture. You'll need that careful preparation with permits, especially for Upper Mustang. Think about your travel style trek or jeep, plan your timing for spring or autumn, and just get ready for some pretty profound cultural rewards.
And that brings up a really important point, perhaps a final thought to leave you with. As visitors, how do we make sure that when we explore a place like Mustang, this unique, protected cultural landscape, how do we ensure our visit actually contributes positively? Helps preserve it rather than, inadvertently chipping away at that precious heritage we've gone there to see?
That's a really crucial question, something to definitely reflect on as you perhaps start dreaming about or even planning your own incredible journey to this extraordinary part of the world.